what we'll do is we'll maybe take some ships from our classical empire style, and we'll go ahead and put some ships there. We want to show some kind of armada. So maybe we'll have a series of ships out there that are kind of parked. This is kind of large, so we'll bring the scale down quite a bit. And they has to scale to where it can fit in between these islands right here. Just kind of notice that. So if I look at the island, I want to make sure that it kind of fits in between here. Obviously, these ships weren't meant to go into the canals. Smaller boats were meant for that. And I think this scale looks about right. We look at the island here, and a boat is quite a large boat. Let's go maybe down to about 40. That's quite a large boat, but I think that size looks about right. And then we'll have one going through to kind of show what it looks like. We'll have one placed over here. I'm going to make sure that it's set to the right layer as well. See, it looks like it's behind it, so I'll have to set that up. We'll put it right up against here. And then we'll have a bunch of other ships kind of set in this area right here to kind of represent that there is an armada coming through. So we'll put a series of boats, and this will kind of represent the protection. Let's put some with some sails as well, like maybe going away, maybe one with sails going towards, maybe one going this way, like this, to kind of represent that there's some commerce and some activity going on. Okay, so we have a couple things here. Those wave breakers, those are going to be helpful. Yes, you sunk my battleship there, Dan. Love it. So those islands, those wave breakers, or what I'm calling the storm breaker, the triumvirate gods, it also keeps multiple ships from coming in at once. You see how it kind of funnels them in with these tighter spaces? That means they're more bottlenecked, and that means that if a series of ships kind of get into the center here, they'll be able to shoot, and they'll also be able to go onto the islands and those wave breakers and defend, get onto the ships. So lots of those islands serve multiple purposes. Wave breaker as well as a kind of a defense against multiple ships being able to come into the harbor and take over the city. So some helpful stuff there, at least what I think would be kind of helpful. So we have those ships, we have an armada, not really an armada, but enough ships here to kind of defend the coast from invaders. So I think that looks good. And I think we don't have smaller boats. I don't think. These are all ships. I could type in boat, but I don't think there is in the classical empire. But there are some smaller, these kind of smaller boats right here, and these are kind of perfect. We'll bring the scale down on them to make sure that we get the right size. What I'll do is I'll use a door or a window to kind of use as a guide. That's kind of helpful. I'm just going to scale up, and I think about that size looks right. And then I can go ahead and place these little boats kind of inside of here, and these will kind of represent the smaller boats inside. Put some here, and then we'll probably add in some docks along here as well in these areas, because we should have some kind of dock formation, so some place for these boats to go. And then we'll also put some over here by the Colosseum. That's kind of a fantasy element there. Let's put some here, and it doesn't hurt to place a couple out here as well. So we'll place them all along here and all along out here, whether they're fishing. Put a bunch in here. There we go. And then also we'll put some behind the statues. That way there's some sense of depth. So there we go. One behind the statue. That creates a sense of depth. Maybe one behind this boat right here. So I'll put right behind that. That's one of the secrets to depth, the stacking layers, putting a stamp in front of another one. So this creates this sense of depth when you do that. So that kind of helps.